how far can a max degree 100 Crucible of Steel and Flame Tack Paragon get? Alright, so this is going to be a very interesting one because we don't usually do videos like this, but I wanted to test this thing out because I'm super excited about this Paragon. It's probably not going to be the strongest one because as you guys see, the price is, well, it's 170k, but we're playing on easy mode, so it's going to be 200 on medium. So not the most expensive Paragon, but definitely at least it looks interesting, right? So let's do a couple of tests. We're going to start things off in Sandbox with just seeing how much single target damage this thing can do. So the way that I want to start things off is I'm going to set round 1 and I'm just going to send in a test balloon. Now we're going to do 2 tests with this thing. We're going to see how much damage it does just do like a single test balloon, and then we're going to repeat this thing and I'm going to be using the abilities versus this test balloon. And so far, I don't know, it's looking kind of, can I say underwhelming, or is this a little bit within the expected range because it's only a degree 1, but it's like we're looking at what, like 10,000 damage? Oh my god, this doesn't look like it's too much. Alright, so let's reset the pops and let's send in a test balloon, but this time I'm going to use the ability. So we're going to start with this thing with the Maelstrom, and I'm going to use the meteor as well. Oh my god, look at this meteor. It did like 50k damage, and also these small ones. Yep, the small ones are insane. It said 100,000 damage. Okay, so I'm super impressed actually. So even though I keep using the super Maelstrom ability, like look at the amount of pops. It's not exactly changing damage. It's just like a range extender, but once you use the meteor, that is when the single target damage starts amping up, and yeah, that's probably going to be the most important ability, it seems like. Right then, so let's test it out versus round 100. So I'm going to set round 100 and I'm going to send in a bad balloon. We're going to do the same test. So first off, let's see if a degree 1 Crucible Steel Flame can deal with just a single bad balloon. Nothing else. Let's see if it can pop it. That's pretty much it. And I feel like, yeah, it can. Alright, so thankfully this is not going to be like I don't think we should expect too much of this Paragon, I'm going to be honest, but thankfully it does pop around 100 bad. But I'm going to give it a little bit more of a difficult challenge this time. So I'm going to send in a round 140 bad balloon, and now this thing is a little bit more ramped up with the HP. So let's see how it's going to do versus this one. Yeah, look at this thing, it's already struggling. So it is going to go through the first damage state. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to pop it just using its normal attacks. This is a good sign, by the way. This is, I'm actually liking this because this is the damage that it's doing without us using any of the abilities, and it actually popped it. That's amazing. It's probably not going to deal with the 0 but you know what? I'm actually going to repeat this test and I'm going to send in the same bad balloon, but this time I'm going to use abilities. So let's actually delete those guys. Let's send in another bad balloon, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the meteor. Let's just see how much damage it's going to do. It's going to be like, it's about 50-ish thousand, and then these homing ones are the ones that actually take out the battler. That's insane. Alright, so let's do the exact same test, but this time we have a degree 100 Crucible of Steel and Flame. So let's send in our round 1 test balloon, and again we're going to do both of the tests. So first off, we are just going to let this thing attack, see how many pops it gets versus this test balloon, and then on the second round we're going to use all of our abilities and let's see how much of a damage boost we're going to get. So it's looking like it's going to end up with about 50-ish thousand pops. Is it going to get damaged? So yeah, a little bit, I guess. So it's about 50k pops, yeah, versus the test balloon. And now let's reset the pops and let's send in the test balloon again, and then as soon as this thing comes out, I'm going to use the meteor. Maybe we can get 2 uses out of this thing. Let's keep using the super Maelstrom. Let's see how much of a difference. Oh, wait a minute, this is insane. Did I like not click the button properly for the pops refresh, or does this thing do like a million damage? I think it just does like a million damage when you use these abilities. I feel like the mirror is super strong. Oh my god, that's so much more damage. It's insane. 270,000. Yeah, definitely. So we're definitely gonna need to hook this thing up with a tech bot when we do the logs testing. I feel like to see how much it's gonna make it. But yeah, 280,000. That's insane. All right, so now let's do a bat on round 140. I have a feeling that this degree 100 is just gonna eat this thing up. I don't think it's gonna have any issues. Yeah, there we go. It's not even gonna be close with this one. Okay, so we need to give it a more difficult of a challenge. So let's send in round 200 as a whole. I'm just switch this thing to 200. Let's just send in this entire round. So this round is very interesting because round 200 is always the same, and then it has 245 bats in this thing, and these guys are pretty ramped up with the HP. And how is it looking? I don't think that this is looking too good, guys. I don't think it's even gonna pop like one of them. Look at this thing. Yeah, so it barely went through the first damage state onto the first bat, and it's gonna do the same thing with the second one. But yeah, this thing is just straight up not popping. So I guess when we do the logs test, it's gonna go somewhere between 140 and 200. It's just the question is it gonna lose before reaching round 200? Because I'm pretty sure this is gonna lose in 200 as well. Let's actually do the exact same round, but let's use the ability. So let's go like this. Let's use the Maelstrom as well. Let's see if this is gonna make any difference. So something I'm noticing is when you use the meteor is actually these small homing projectiles, these small homing meteors. They do a lot of damage, it seems like. And maybe are we actually gonna get a pop on a 45 bat? This is actually gonna be a breakthrough, I feel like, because if we can somehow manage to defeat this thing, maybe the barrier of round 200 is gonna get broken up on the logs. But it's not looking like it, guys. This thing is gonna leave. Nope, we're gonna get a second meteor though. So let's wait for this guy to leave, and then let's use the second meteor. We have an arm Maelstrom, so let's just use it. And it's looking like, no, it's pretty much looking like round 200 is gonna gonna be the end for this thing in our test. So let's move on to logs and let's see how far we can get. Alright, so let's do it in an actual game now. So I'm just gonna start things off with the degree 1 Tack Paragon. Actually, let's have it like this. I think this is gonna be a good spot, by the way, because the range is a little bit bigger than something like the attack zone, and also the attack pattern is not exactly the same as the attack zone. So I don't think you actually care about having this thing in like a corner or something like that is what I'm saying. I'm also gonna buy something like, I guess, a plutonium reactor just as a decal, maybe even the energizer. And this thing does not have camo detection, so yeah, the only way that you could give it camo detection is probably through decamoing other balloons or just, I don't know, like a ninja paragon. But I don't want to be using a ninja paragon because that thing has the Sabo ability active at all times, so it's gonna skew the test a little bit. So yeah, let's see how we do. So we're gonna start things off from round 100. We know that we can defeat round 100 for sure because, well, we just did it. So let's see how far this thing can go by itself. You guys actually tried this? Like, have you actually tested this thing in an actual game versus maybe like a custom made boss event or something like that? How did it go? Was it the degree that you got? Like, are you surprised by how good this thing is? I feel like it's a really nice addition, right? Especially in this like cheaper category of Paragons is the thing that I like the most. You guys know that I play a lot of boss events and we actually do play them every single week, right? We upload the videos, and something that we usually do on those boss events is, oh, wait a minute, that's a bad balloon, by the way. And just hold a thought for a second because we're gonna have a couple of bats, so let's see if we can deal with these guys. It's gonna be 3 of them, so how is the damage gonna be doing? We do have abilities if we need to react, and it's not popping I mean, it's gonna pop on the other side, but it's like not popping it instantly, so I guess that's something to consider because when we reach these higher rounds, we're definitely gonna be losing to one of these guys, right? And so as I was saying, you know, each time we play these bosses, when you reach the tier 3 boss, it's always the exact same thing, right? It's always the Dart Paragon, or I don't know, you make a lot of money and you somehow have to avoid the Boomer Paragon, and it's just that. And I feel like just having this Paragon is going to attack one is gonna shake things up a little bit, and that's what I like a lot about this thing. Our favorite balloons, 45 ZOMG is the toughest thing that the game can throw at us before we get to the bad balloons. So I feel like if we lose to something, it's gonna be around like this. If we lose to something before 140, it's gonna be, well, you know what, it actually might even be this round. Oh my god, that's so many of these guys, and they're all 45. I mean, it is dealing with the small ceramics that are coming out on the bottom side of the track, and actually if it can deal with the ZOMG layer and if it can pop them like in an orderly manner, I don't know, on their way back it's gonna be kind of tough. So if it can deal with all these mobs, then we do have it, and it's actually gonna beat it. Yep, there we go. Look at this thing, 140. It seems like my prediction might actually come true, but let's see how we do versus the 45 bat. There's gonna be one more bat behind this guy. That's gonna be a normal one, but we need to deal with this guy. That's the most important one. So we do have the meter ability if necessary, but let's see if the normal DPS can actually take it out. So there goes the first stage of DPS. I fully expect this guy at the back, by the way, to pop just from the normal damage. So I think we're gonna be focusing the meter on I'm gonna set this guy to strong, by the way, and I'm just gonna be focusing the meter onto this thing. But let's see if we can get the pop without using any abilities. And I think that we might, but we're not gonna deal with the DDTs, I'm pretty sure. So this is the most important one, and it's not getting the pop. Alright, so this is gonna be the round to which we lose. Actually, it's round 140, but that's gonna be without abilities. So yeah, let's start using abilities on the next one, and let's see if we can take this round down. Alright, so exact same thing. Let's use the meteor ability, and let's see how much damage it's gonna do. The small meteors actually do a lot of damage. Look at this thing. These guys almost took out an entire bat. Yeah, this single target ability is actually really strong. They really cook with this animation, but did they cook with the damage? I don't know about that one. I'm just gonna keep using it, by the way. So we're gonna have at least one more meteor ability, and okay, so now we can just set it on strong. Let's use the meteor ability, pop this guy as well, and then the small meteors should help in cleaning out the small balloons, and there we go. That's round 140. Ooh, this might be a tricky one. Look at this one. Round 146. We have 2 bats, but the meteor is on cooldown. It's only gonna be able to target once. So I hope that the first one pops from the normal attacks. Let's actually have the meteor target to last, so we target this guy at the back, and then I guess hopefully these fireballs are just gonna seek out these guys, and they're just gonna clean up eventually. Let's use the maelstrom again, and I think, yes, we do have this one, it looks like. I mean, the maelstrom should be able to take care of it, but you can definitely feel the pressure on this one. So we're no longer, or at least I should say, we're barely popping these bad balloons without the usage of abilities at this point. I mean, just look at how satisfying it looks like whenever you use the ability. Oh, that's a lot of DDTs. Actually, we're gonna hold off all of these guys. Let's get them super maelstrom ability back again. Oh, wait a minute, this might be our last one, guys. That's a lot of 45 ZOMGs. Let's use the super maelstrom again, and look at this thing. The pierce, even when you use the super maelstrom, you can't even see it because there's so many balloons. Oh, I think this is the last one. I mean, you know what? This was a degree 1 Paragon, so I am not even mad about this thing. Like, this is a good record. I feel like 152. Yeah, it's probably gonna lose onto this one. I mean, we do have a meteor, so I'm just gonna use a meteor. Let's see, maybe we're gonna get some cleanup with the small homing projectiles. We have the super maelstrom. Nah, this is gonna be the last one, it looks like. Okay, so 152 for the degree 1. Now let's see how much the degree 100 can go. And we're back on 152, but this time something is different. Yes, we got the degree 100 Crucible of Steel and Flame. Now this thing, as far as I've been observing it in these past few rounds, this thing is just owning. I mean, it's not even close. If you guys remember, the previous one was struggling versus the fortified ZMGs. This thing is eating them up, and obviously this is expected. It is exactly, you know, it's doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing, but the question is, how far can this thing survive? So I think it's gonna be up to round 200, and then hopefully, you know, maybe if we can get some meteors going onto those bad balloons, then maybe it can go a little bit past that. You know what I wanted to do though? I think the color of the meteor actually changes depending on the degree of the paragon. So because this one is a degree 100 and it gets kind of a blue tint to it, I think that once I use the meteor, it's actually going to be a blue explosion instead of a, I think the previous one was orange. So let me actually use it and let's see. Yep, there we go. They actually thought of that. That's really cool. You know what? Let's just use the ability for fun and look at this thing. This is so mesmerizing. It actually looks really cool, you know, having all of these abilities and these stacks and everything flying around. I gotta say, they absolutely nailed the visual aspect of this paragon. This thing looks absolutely cool. And hold on, another bad balloon. So let me actually, let's actually try and pay attention to what do these homing missiles that spawn from the meteor, what do they do exactly? So let's use the meteor right now and then let's watch. So something I'm noticing is that the meteor also has like a little bit of an AoE to it, and I guess these guys, they kind of homed in onto like these balloons at the back, so I wasn't exactly, you know, being able to notice how good the meteor homing projectiles were. But yeah, definitely a little bit of an AoE to the meteor ability. And actually something that I think I noticed as well is that the uptime of the super maelstrom is a little bit higher on the degree 100 in comparison to the previous one. So let's actually use it and let's see if that's true. So the degree 1 actually had an uptime of I think it was like 50-ish%, and look at this thing. This thing is almost at 100%, guys. In my early access video, I'm pretty sure that I had a paragon degree which was about in the 60s, I want to say, and that uptime looked to me like it was about 80-ish%. So let's use the ability one more time and let's actually see what is the almost exact uptime. By the way, when you fast forward, this looks really good, but that's almost a 90% uptime, I think, on this ability. Let me just watch it again. Yeah, this ability is insane. So it is, yeah, it's closer to like 90% uptime. That is absolutely insane how much this thing lasts. So 175, not many things have changed since the last time we talked. I think that one of the most notable things is that the bad balloons are finally making it onto like this top horizontal track. So you guys can see this first one is gonna make it there. It's probably gonna pop like here towards the middle, somewhere around this spot, I'm pretty sure. Oh, wait a minute. No, there we go. It popped. Okay. So we're still popping them using the normal attacks is what I'm saying. And we are, it might look like it, but we're not exactly close to leaking, especially because we have so many abilities to go through. And like, especially, you know, the fact that this maelstrom ability has like a 90% uptime. So we have so much power left to unlock within this paragon that I'm pretty sure that it is, if we get some good meteors, we even might beat round 200. All right. So this is actually a great round because we're going to get a gauge on where we stand with just using the super maelstrom ability versus a bad balloon. So the previous time I guess we tested this, we were still able to barely pop a single bad balloon. So if we cannot pop this bad balloon, then this is the green light for us to start using the meteor for you know, these bats. And right on time, guys. Yep, this is the one, 189. All right, so as soon as we see a bad balloon, is this thing, yeah, this thing is set on strong, so the meteor goes on strong. So let's just use the meteor and let's see how much of a damage it's gonna do. Okay, so the explosion is kind of big, but it doesn't seem to be, you know, it's not one-shotting the bad balloon, but it's dealing a decent amount of damage, I feel like. All right, so let me just keep using all of the abilities. So I'm just gonna keep using the maelstrom, extend the range. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's so much earlier than last time. Okay, so it's time, guys. We have to start using the meteors with these bad balloons. Oh, is this gonna be the one? Actually, look at how many bats there are. Oh my god, that's like 6 bats in one single round. I think that's the most that I've ever seen so far. This might be the last one, guys. I mean, we could probably restart and do some shenanigans with the meteor ability. A lot of them are being damaged, but I did use it already. I used it once and I think I got a couple of them. So let's actually set this guy on last. Let's use the meteor, set it back on strong, and then just keep using the maelstrom. And hopefully we did enough damage and we were able to kind of spread the damage around to all these bad balloons. All right, so one of them popped. There are 3 left on screen, no more meteors. So I guess it's just gonna have to be the normal attacks. Hopefully this is enough. It's only 1 left on screen, but even though, oh, there we go, the last one popped as well. I'm still skeptical if we're gonna be able to deal with these guys. The ZMGs have so much HP. It's only the last ones remaining. We're gonna have a maelstrom in a second, and yes, there we go. All right, that was ridiculous. So just beat this one, and then we are on around 200, and I'm gonna be fine if we lose in 200, honestly. All right, so let's use the super maelstrom. Let's use the meteor ability. Just get it out as fast as possible. Hopefully it's only these 2. Oh, that's another one in the back. Okay, so hopefully it's only these 3 bad balloons on this round, because if it's only these guys, oh my god, stop. 4 bad balloons on screen. If it's only these guys, we can probably deal with them. There's gonna be 1 more meteor incoming. I think I'm gonna set the last meteor on the last, just because I want to target this guy at the back. But I'm gonna need the guys up front to start popping, actually, because look at what's happening. Even though like we're using meteors and these guys, they're still not popping. So I'm gonna wait. This is, by the way, the guy that's last, so I'm gonna gonna wait a little bit and I'm gonna use the ability now so we get some damage on the one at the back as well, and that's all the meteors. Okay, so it's just gonna be on the super maelstroms right now and the normal attacks, and it's just the guy at the back that needs to pop. There we go. Do we actually have this one? Are we actually gonna make it to 200? That's gonna be insane. Oh, the first one is popping, and then only these guys at the back. We're gonna have a super maelstrom ability in a second. I'm gonna use it. I think we have it. Yes, there we go. That's amazing. All right, so round 200. Do we actually beat this one? I think that this is the end of the road, guys, but let's actually try. So 1 meteor, not too many balloons on this one, by the way. So 1 meteor, use the meteor. Let's see how it's gonna do. We actually, it seems like we did get some of the residual damage onto the second one because it's damaged a little bit, but it is not looking as good, guys. This looks like it might be the end of the road. Maybe if we get like one more meteor cooldown going out, I mean, we're definitely gonna get it. It's just, is it gonna be on time? So let's actually, it's on first. Okay, so let's use it right now. And oh my god, it's not even popping. Maybe it's gonna pop from the small little homing meteors. No, that's pretty much gonna be it, I think, for this one. Yep, it's gonna be around 200. Yeah, so 45 bats proved a little bit too difficult for a degree 100 crucible, but that was amazing. So yeah, very impressed with this Paragon, but a lot of tests to be done. Actually, we have to test it versus a bunch of bosses versus different degrees, and also all the different capabilities that the bosses have. So if you guys want to watch those videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.